The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. John Milton, Paradise Lost. That, I told a fellow writer recently, is all you'll ever really need to know about world building. Setting is a canvas for subtext, what we read between the lines, the worlds between the words. Setting, when done to full effect, is not merely place, but people too, not merely of moral, but of mind, if you'll indulge me whilst I wax poetic. An externalization of the internal. To put it in simple, no-nonsense terms, when creating a world, you write your characters and their conflicts inside out. Their emotions, memories, imaginations, motives, and innermost battles are your building materials. Since I just finished watching the fascinating slow burn that is Midnight Mass, I'll use the Stoker-Hawthorne mashup as my example, and try not to include too many spoilers. But maybe watch it first. The series takes place on an isolated island that was once a flourishing fishing town prior to an oil spill and resulting regulatory mandates that left the village in economic tatters and motivated many to relocate to the mainland. Swiss Family Robinson is referenced, but I'm personally leaning more towards Dr. Moreau, for reasons I'll endeavor not to disclose. The island is becoming a ghost town, and the residents rejoice at the return of a prodigal daughter and a wayward son, and gradually embrace a seeming stranger in a sacrament who comes bearing miracles. This is an interesting inversion of Bram Stoker's exploration of Western European fears of reverse colonization and cultural contamination from Eastern Europe, wherein Count Dracula of Transylvania takes up new residency in the English harbour town of Whitby as an unwelcome scourge. But it is so much more than an allusion to its inspiration. Aaron and Riley, the protagonists, are isolated by their respective traumas. They're emotionally amputated from their families and community by forces that feel bigger than them, much like the 30 miles of water that encompasses the island. Their shared psychological landscape is frayed and fragile, much like the dry brush and run-down houses that make the island something of a matchbox. St. Patrick's, which serves as both church and refuge, is the hub of this dwindling hamlet, shelter from literal and figurative storms. Inevitably, in good storytelling, it becomes the eye of the narrative storm. Yet this house of worship is not just the stage where we lay our scene, but rather an insight into Aaron and Riley's inner worlds. Good setting is a mirror to psyche, the psyche of the characters, and of the story more broadly. St. Patrick's is a sepulchre of dark secrets, of myths and lies and confessions. Aaron and Riley are here in the stories Aaron tells herself about the fate of her would-be never-was child, and the guilt Riley refuses to relinquish and repeats and reminds himself and his loved ones with a kind of religious fervor. In the wake of a life never lived and a death, she clings to the comfort of fiction, he to the flagellation of facts. The church is a site of rebirth, a communion they can't fully accept, a bloody renewal that reflects their struggle to move on in the aftermath of metaphorical violence, the destruction of their respective dreams. But Riley, like the fishing town turned a ghost town, wasn't always haunted by an isolating trauma. The Monsignor reminds him of his childhood faith, of the person he once was, under the influence of hope. At the beginning of the series, the shoreline is littered in the corpses of cats. Far more than a foreboding omen, we should see the islanders and the losses that cleave to them in these dead strays. This isn't simply foreshadowing, but a glimpse into the collective hold on the characters. The cats' bodies create a boundary, a border along the beach that everyone is advised against nearing. Even before the boats lie burning in the harbor, there is a line that keeps the islanders from leaving the land for the open water, from crossing over into the baptism of a brighter future. There is a significant amount of world building, much of it front-loaded for such a small setting, and so viewers should pay close attention to it, and writers should take notes. This Dracula Meets Scarlet Letter miniseries is one of many fine primers on the importance of world, not just boards for players to trod, but neural pathways of narrative.